When I play the Nintendo Switch, I love using this here. This is my Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and granted it has a different case on it to make it look like a Super Nintendo controller, but it is comfortable, it is accurate, it just works, and it's precise, and it's everything that I want in a controller for the Switch. The one downside about the Switch Pro controller, it is expensive. $60 to $70 is what you're looking at. So as such, there have been a number of different manufacturers that have come out with third-party Pro-style controllers for the Nintendo Switch. And one of them showed up on our doorstep back in September of 2020. This is the Gamesir T4 Pro, and I don't know where it came from. If you sent us this to check out, please let me know down in the comment section. This is designed to go ahead and give you that Pro controller type of experience, but at a fraction of the cost. We're talking under $40, depending on where you pick it up from. It is designed to work not only with the Nintendo Switch, but with Android, with iOS, with Macs, and with PCs. So if you have a RetroPie, it may work with it. If you have an NVIDIA Shield TV, it may work with it. You have a number of different systems that you can go ahead and use this controller for. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually test it out on our Nintendo Switch that we have here. We're going to see how it comes out of the box, some of the features that it has, and we're going to do some gameplay with it, because quite honestly, for the price, for some of the features that it states that it has, it looks pretty interesting. Let's hit the bench and let's take a closer look. With a look here at the box itself, you can see here 4 editable buttons, easy for me to say, 6-axis gyro. Looks like it has some LEDs back behind the buttons here. Gamesir T4 Pro, Evolve for all games for Android, iOS, Switch, and Windows right there. On the side, asymmetric motors, linear trigger button, anti-slip rubber caps, 600 milliamp large capacity battery, does not say the chemical type. On the back, highly supports Nintendo Switch games. I don't know what that means, just high compatibility maybe. iOS, Android, PC Switch games are supported. Supports Apple Arcade and MFI games. Don't know what those are. 4 customizable buttons for highly personalized configurations. LED lights are transparent in the T4 Pro body, and wired connection via the standard Type-C interface. So you can pair this just or use this just by a USB-C cable. And then this side got really crunched. Product name, game controller, the Gamesir T4 Pro, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's open it up. Now, I had to get a new X-Acto knife from Tom from Gaming Off the Grid. Decided to steal my X-Acto knife, not Gaming Off the Grid. It'd be funny if that wasn't accidental. So let's take a look at everything the T4 Pro comes with out of the box. So you have an adapter here to hold like a mobile phone or something like that. So if you're playing Xbox on the go, you can mount your phone here or use with other sorts of games. I don't think this expands tall enough for the Switch. No, Switch Lite could possibly work, but I would not. Yeah, and there's nothing really. Basically, the gaps here and here are too tightly spaced. If they were maybe another ½ inch deeper, you could probably do it. This is designed for a phone, though. You've got a USB A to C cable. You have a dongle, which I am really hoping you don't need to use a dongle to connect to a Switch. That would make me mad. The controller itself and the instruction manual. And let's just look at the face of the controller. You've got select, turbo, home, start. The buttons are definitely, they're nice. They've got a clear, it's a clear button with the letters corresponding kind of inset down in them. The left analog stick feels great. The right analog stick, it's like there's something grinding in there. Yeah, there's something in there. I may take this apart to see if there's a way that I can clean that up, but that's not 100%. The D-pad feels very mushy. There's not as much there as I would like to see, and it pushes in way too easily. Not a big fan of the D-pad, at least initially. On the back, though, you've got M3, M1, M2, M4 buttons, so you can actually program different macros and whatnot to each of these buttons. On the top, you have L and R, you have LT and RT, and then a USB-C port for charging and to connect via that USB-C cable to a PC. Let's take a look at the manual real quick here too. How to charge, pretty standard there. How to connect to a computer Android TV via the USB receiver. So it looks like the USB dongle, this guy here, is only if you're connecting to an Android box or to a computer. So that's good. And then you can connect to a PC via USB cable. Here's what I wanted to see, how to connect a switch or switch light via Bluetooth. Awesome. Go to the main interface, okay, so on and so it's a normal pairing mode there. We are going to test it to see if I can go ahead and just connect it via the USB-C cable to do the pairing, then disconnect from there. Same basic thing, you can pair to your phone if you wanted to. You do it via Bluetooth. Back button layout, so turbo and D-pad up and down for keybinds. Description, adjust the intensity of level 5. Oh, so you can adjust the intensity of the rumble, it looks like. Hold L2, R2, R3, and D-pad up and down. Adjust the levels of brightness. Hold LB and RB for 5 seconds. Open and close the backlight. I'm sure that means turn the backlight on and off. Turbo function, achieve fast attacks in the game. Press and hold the button that needs to be comboed, and then press the turbo button. And then it walks you through what buttons can be programmed. Since we do have the switch handy, let's do this. Change grip order. Let's just see how easy this is to pair. So we've got our switch right there. Press the Y and home button until the gamepad is turned on. So Y and home. That was pretty painless. Everything seems to be working okay there so far. So one of the things I do want to try too, so I'm going to hit home, sleep mode. I want to see if this will wake up the switch from sleep mode. So a lot of controllers won't. Okay, so now the controller's off. Let's see if it'll wake up the system. It will not wake the system, so that is something important to note about this. All right, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and we are going to hook this up to our TV and our capture card. We're going to see how it plays. So we're loading Super Mario Kart up here on our Switch, and one thing that looking at the controller itself, I didn't realize until I looked at my normal Pro controller. Why don't you take a closer look here. Look at the A and B button. Look at the A and B button. Don't see anything? Let me give you a closer look in these insets here. The A and B button are backwards, as are the X and Y button. This is designed after the Xbox controller, not after the Switch Pro controller. How do you screw that up? Seriously, how do you screw that up? Granted, you're not going to be looking at the controller while you're playing. But if it's one of those things where, you know, hit A to continue and I'm looking down, oh, I press A. Why the hell did it take me back? They've got the buttons labeled backwards. Come on. That's really, that's poor form. So we're going to dive into single player here for a second. Go to Grand Prix, go to the 150cc, and just for Rax the Great, if you're not subscribed to him, if you love action sports and BMX and stuff like that, definitely check him out. Used to be into the retro gaming community. He decided to go ahead and pursue something that was a little bit more of his interest. So, but for Rax the Great, I am going to use my own me here because, well, it's phenomenal. And there, I hit B instead of A because the controller's labeled backwards. Pisses me off. Oh, and we blew the start. Not a good way to get going here. Now, while this game really doesn't rely on the right analog stick like others that we'll test out in a bit, I will say, oh, almost hit the banana peel there, that having played with this a little bit before the capture here, the notchiness that I had noticed initially on the right analog stick, after kind of, best I could call it, is a break-in period, it has pretty much gone away. Now, one thing as a tip that I don't know how many people realize over the years in Super Mario Kart, but the more coins that you get, the faster your car or motorcycle will go. It caps out at 10 coins as far as where your speed will max out at, but it is something where there is a reason to collect the coins. So like we have max speed right now. And we got the red shell. Get him, get him, get him, yeah! And took the win in the 150. Now, one thing I want to do here real quick is I just want to make sure that it's not just that the buttons are mislabeled. I want to make sure that the functionality is not incorrect here too. So I'm going to go down. Okay, so it is just the buttons, not the functionality, that is backwards. So, like for example, A is gas, where on that controller it's B that is gas. All right, so at least we know here. We're gonna go back to home. We're gonna go back to change grip order. So annoying. So let's dive into our next game. Let's play some Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. I love using Street Fighter to test these controllers out simply because it helps determine and sniff out lag, latency, delay, if everything's working exactly like it should be. Street Fighter, if I can pull up like the Dragon Uppercut, then the controller is generally pretty good. So we're going to take Ryu because that's just my guy, and fight E Honda. Been a while since I've done a fight against him. So now in this game, what I'm going to do first is I'm just using the D-pad. So far, so good. Got him! Pull off the Dragon Uppercut, pull off Fireball, the spinning sidekick, that all worked. Now I'm going to use the analog stick and see how that works. Got him again. I have to admit the feet of fear, or the hands of fury, one of the reasons I would actually take E Honda quite a bit back in the day too. Got him. So works fine on Street Fighter, able to pull off all the moves, not a problem. Let's dive into some Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Edition. Nintendo, please don't take this away. This is a really fun game. I enjoy this. I've actually won a couple games now where it's fun. Don't take this away from us. Now, when I play Super Mario 35th, what I like to do is I will go ahead and use the mushroom, spend 20 coins, and that way starting off on level 1-1, you know, as you all know, very familiar with that first level, shortly into it, you get a power-up again, so that takes me to the Fire Flower. Gets me an upgrade without having to spend all the coins versus, you know, just going straight for the Fire Flower to start. So what I like to do to start too is I will go after those who are attacking me first before I go after anyone else. Now, one thing of note, that's pressing the back button on the controller, which, I mean, I can't say that they're not comfortable because they actually really are. I wish there was a way to simply disable them to make sure that if I'm not intending to use them, that I don't get accidental presses on them. I will say that the D-pad, even though I didn't think much of it on the bench, actually isn't as bad as I was afraid that it was going to be. It does feel a little plasticky and mushy both at the same time. I know that sounds like a contradiction. It's like the rubber membrane behind the D-pad itself really needs to be made of a thicker material. And the plastic itself is very plasticky feeling. Now in this, I have to use the D-pad. I can't use the analog stick at all because that just changes the analog stick. If you keep an eye at the red box, that's just changing who I'm attacking. So for something like this, having, you know, a good feeling D-pad is really important. All right, down to 9 other players. Almost got hit by a Goomba there. Thankfully, I was aware of what was going on. So I was able to make quick moves. Ah, damn it. Let's see what the fireball, or if I can get a fireball. Nope. All right, I know there's a fireball here. Or a fire flower, I should say, not a fireball. And it does make a difference too if you stomp on an enemy versus using the fireballs. You actually get more time. And there's actually a multiplier too if you stomp on an enemy and then can stomp on another one right away. So Like when you've got Goombas side by side, you can actually stomp on 2 of them, and then you get like 5 seconds bonus, I think it is. All right, we've got 400 seconds of playtime ourselves left. So watch the multiplier here. There's 4 seconds when there was only 3 guys I bounced off of. I will say overall, I mean, the performance of the controller has been just fine in this. Damn it. See, that's again one of those things. I was impatient. I should have just let it do its thing. All right, 4 more left. All right, we're top 3. Oh, there's only 1 other person left. Awesome. We are in it to win it. Let's see if we can pull it off. See, when you get down to only 1 or 2 other players, the problem is too is you don't have, ooh, I almost died there. You don't have as many players sending you enemies to send back, so it's a lot easier to run out of time. I got a feeling this may come down to who's got more time left at, oh, I hate this level. Yes! And I got it on film. I got it on film. I won. Yes! Okay. This was pretty good in Mario 35th. Let's finish it off with something from the Super NES because I want to test out the turbo. And I have had nothing but problems getting the turbo to work. And we're going to try out Star Fox. So one of the reasons I want to test out Star Fox is because of the turbo functionality. And I will admit I've had a problem getting turbo to work. See, turbo is the same as the capture button. So what the manual says is you hold down the button that you want turbo for, press the turbo button, and it's capturing. It's not actually turning the turbo on. That's frustrating. We're going to play it as it is, I guess. Now, one thing I do miss after playing the N64 version a bit lately has been the charge shot that is no longer, or not no longer here, but simply wasn't incorporated into this version of the game. But now we do have the twin blasters locked and loaded here. For, you know, an almost 30-year-old game, I do have to say, I love the soundtrack to Star Fox. It still works great, or it still sounds great. The game definitely has slowdown issues. I mean, there is no arguing that, but it still plays great. The controls are tight. It's still a super fun game. And I'm glad that they were able to put it onto the Super NES online service that Nintendo offers. Now, I was playing the first half of this level with the D-pad. I've now switched to the analog stick just to see again if I've got any control issues one way or the other. More or less, I've just got to say it's a comfort thing as far as where my hands are on the controller versus, you know, with the analog stick versus the D-pad. And this, you know, since I don't have the lock-on like in Star Fox 64, this is one of those where I would love the turbo. I can't go turbo. I mean, even still, there's the kind of built-in rapid shot, which is working just fine. The button presses are exactly as they should be. You did not shoot that orange stuff at me. All right, should be dead. There is. All right, so as the enemy blows up there a little bit, let's kind of go over some initial final thoughts with this. So what do I like about it? It is comfortable. It is responsive. It works well. I do like the fact it's USB-C for charging. The analog sticks, the right one did free up. It no longer feels notchy like it did out of the box. You can adjust the intensity of the LEDs. You can turn them off altogether, along with the intensity of the vibration alert if you so wish. The triggers felt decent. It does have, you know, the back buttons. They are something that, we're going to go to the home screen here. The back buttons are something that I don't know that I myself would use, and I really would like to see a variant of this without these back buttons on there that would also be less expensive. That being said, the fact that the A, B, X, Y buttons are labeled incorrectly for the system, what the hell? I mean, you had one job labeling the buttons, installing them in the right spot. I mean, even looking at the box is incorrect too. So, I mean, that's pretty poor. The fact too that the right analog stick was grindy out of the box, not great. The fact that you cannot use this to wake up your system, also not good. I did try the USB dongle on my 16th scale, or I'm sorry, 1/6 scale New Wave Toys Dragon's Lair arcade cabinet. Didn't work on that. Did not work on my Sega Genesis Mini. I have not tried it on my Android TV at this point, and I don't game on my PC. So as far as I'm concerned, the usefulness of that USB dongle, slim to none. But these are just my initial thoughts. Now let's go. It's time for final thoughts. So like I said, final thoughts. I cannot let the button issue just drop here. The fact that the buttons on the Gamesir T4 Pro, they're not designed for the Switch. They're designed to mimic the Xbox controller. The position of the buttons are identical, the A, B, and the X, Y. It's the same on the Xbox controller as on the T4 Pro. And that's, if this was for the Xbox, you know what? Terrific. Nailed it. Job well done. Mission accomplished. It's not. It's for the Switch. It is designed to replicate and basically replace this guy here at a lower cost, and it doesn't do that. That's one of those things that, quite honestly, do your homework, do it right, or don't do it at all. Or at the very least, have it where you could swap the buttons around if you so desired, but A, B, X, Y in the wrong positions on this controller. The features for the price, I think it's overpriced for what it offers. Median price I've been seeing has been between about $32 and $40, $49.99 on the high end, $31.99 on the low end. That being said, yes, the buttons on the back are neat. I don't use them, I don't like them. I want to have the buttons on the face versus back here, and I wish that there was a version of this that omitted these. You know, that would take, you know, $5 or $6 off of the cost easily, get it under that $30 price point. The fact that this does not wake up the system like other controllers do. Other controllers that cost less than this. The LED buttons are a neat and interesting accent piece to this, but it doesn't add anything functionality-wise to it. And if anything, it's going to drain the batteries down faster. Now, they do give you the option of turning those off, which I really do appreciate. You can adjust the rumble intensity, which is neat. The turbo functionality, no matter what I did, I could not get rumble to work at all. And I think part of the problem is the fact that they have the capture button and the turbo button is the same button. Don't do that. Have a separate capture button from the turbo button, and that makes it a whole lot easier to use. Would I recommend this? Not really. Not for the cost, not for the performance, not for the troubles that I had using turbo when there are other controllers out there, like I say, that offer the same or better features for less money. Now, one final thing, the mount for using your cell phone with like the Xbox, the portable Xbox on your cell phone, that's neat. Again, not something I would use as such, not something I would want to pay for. But these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I really want to know what you think of this. Now, if you do want to pick one of these guys up, I will have a link in a pinned comment to where you can pick this up from banggood.com. The best I can find, I think they're the ones that actually sent this to me to test out. And if they did, thank you very much. If someone else did, again, let me know down in the comments. This just showed up. I don't know where it came from. I do think there are better controllers out there for the Switch for the money. And if you're interested in learning about some of those controllers, those will be coming up in just a moment right here. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you'll get early access to all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also become a channel member here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, and with that, you get a badge next to your name when you comment or post on the channel, and you are acknowledged whether you are a channel member or a Patreon supporter at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also support the channel by visiting our Teespring store on screen now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, masks, cell phone cases, and much more. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.